At the age of 20, my life changed completely. I became a father, and from that point, I realized that life was no longer just about me, but instead, it was now about myself and my child. My name is Jay. I'm 22 years of age. I created this YouTube channel to share my journey in life as a single father with a beautiful baby girl. This is my daughter, baby Kai Kai. Basically, after my daughter was born, her mom walked out and never looked back. She was not ready to be a mother, and all the responsibilities was left on me. And I've been doing everything on my own for her ever since. Uh, at that time when her mom walked out, life was in such a good position for my daughter, myself, and her. I was working a 9 to 5 while I had my business bringing in profits at the end of the month, and I still found enough time to be there for both her and my daughter. I was working myself out to ensure that my daughter gets a proper life. I grew up getting what I needed and not what I wanted. I got all the necessities to survive, but as it relates to what I wanted, it was never that really open to me. Certain opportunities were not open to me while growing up. So I promised myself that I would work very hard to ensure that my daughter gets everything that she needs. My video is basically not to go too deep into my personal life, but it's still let you guys know about what it's like being a single father. I would never forget the day that I found out that I was gonna be a dad. I went to the hospital with my child mother, and she found out that she was pregnant. And I asked her, I said, "What are you gonna do?" She said that she wants to keep the child. And I did what I needed to do. I supported her decision. And despite that, I knew that I was not in a position to actually bring a child into the world. I was ready to work hard and get everything needed to take care of this child and give this child everything that he or she needed. Nevertheless, as time went by, the pregnancy went perfectly well. After my daughter was born, my child mother picked herself up and never returned. And it was just me and my daughter ever since. As the time went by, after my child mother left, and I was left with the task to take care of my daughter while at that point still providing for both me and her. Uh, I had no one. I had my mom, I had my sisters, but at that point, we were not on the perfect of terms, and I couldn't put my responsibilities on my siblings or on my mother. At that point, I was living on my own. I had my own house, and I had to do everything on my own. I would remember the days that I would have to get up. I would have to bathe my daughter, dress my daughter. I would take her to work with me sometimes. Sometimes I'd probably take her by my mom. My mom would keep her. I'd pick her up lunchtime, take her to eat lunch. I'd take her back, then I'd pick her up again. And it would be like that for every day. It was very tiring. And most times in the nights, I would barely get to sleep because she would be crying. She needs her tea every 2 3 hours at that point, and I need to get up. I need to make tea, and I still need to get up in the morning to prepare to go to work. Some mornings I would have to get up, go to my business office, deal with stuff. I would have my daughter with me in her car seat. I'm signing off documents, signing off checks, whatever. And then I'd have to drop her off to my mom. Then I head to my 9 to 5 because I was literally working myself to the hardest and to the max to provide every little thing for my daughter. I wanted to give her, and I still want to. My plan is still to give her the life that I never had, and that's what every parent wants to give their child once they bring them into this world. A lot of parents would make those decisions saying that they're not ready for a child because of their situation, but honestly, I feel completely different when it comes to things like this. As in, I think as though if you weren't ready, I don't think God would allow a child to even enter the picture. So God knew exactly what He was doing when He did it. My daughter came into my life as a blessing. Right after my daughter was born, about 2 days after, my business basically exploded. As in, I started getting contracts and I started making money from all different angles. I saw money that I've never saw in my entire life after my daughter was born. So my daughter entered my life as a blessing, allowed me to make enough money to provide a wealthy and expensive life for her. And at a very young age, my daughter knows about quality luxury. She knows about traveling. She knows about expensive food. She knows about eating in restaurants and so much more. And I'm just thankful that God provided and allowed me to do that. That might not be the situation for a lot of people, but it just takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and how you structure your time of your day. And you're gonna have to make a lot of sacrifices once you bring a child into this world and your life is not perfect as yet. If you do not have a house, a stable job at that point, or you don't have a savings to take care of your responsibilities when that child is born, it is gonna be tough on you. And that was me. At that point when my daughter was born, I had a property, but my savings I had invested into my business, which my business was not bringing in no amount of profit at that time. I've been there. I've been playing the role of both a mother and a father for my daughter. And nobody talks about the days when you feel as though you can't do it anymore. There were many days that I cry and I feel so much stress and I'm like, I don't know. I just can't focus. And my daughter's crying in my ears, and she got to get milk or she got to get food or her diapers got to change. And I still got to get up and I still got to do that. A lot of times I wasn't able to like actually push myself to do it, but because there's no one else there, there's no other parents in the picture to do anything for her, I needed to get up and I needed to do what I needed to do. Just wanted to share my story with you guys and let you guys know that no matter what, no matter what life throws at you, if God decides that He wants you to have a child and you decide to bring that child into the world, you're gonna have to make the sacrifices to give that child a good life, no matter what it is, no matter what's the cost. You're basically gonna have to sacrifice your life for that child's life. Basically saying that you will have to put that child in front of yourself. You will have to stop a lot of things that you were doing for like before you had a child, and the expenses that you had on yourself would change. That child is going to take up all of your money, your time, and your attention. So let's say that you were blowing probably, I don't know, 2 3 thousand a month on partying and doing your hair, your nails. The guys, as a father, sorry, you were probably I don't know, spending on chicks, going to the club, spending like about 2,000 3,000 a month, you know, on that. You were buying food every day on the road, whatever. When you get a child in the picture, bro, you're gonna have to sacrifice all of that entire $2,000, and you're gonna have to put it towards that child. And you got 18 years to do that. And within that 18 years, you need to ensure that you bring that child up in the right path where that child is able to become his or her own adult. And that's for me right now. The way I look at it, the way I look at the situation is not that I'm not bringing my child up to take care of me or for me to tell her how much I sacrifice for her in this life. The way I'm bringing my daughter up is for her to become her own adult. By the time she turns 18, she must understand the way life is. I'm bringing my daughter up in such a way that I'm not going to be putting any struggle on her or make her feel as though that because I sacrificed a lot in life and everything that I would have done for her to grow her, that she needs to repay me when she gets older. But I am bringing her up in such a way that I need her to understand that life is not easy and life comes with a lot of struggles and you need to be strong. So I'm trying to bring up a very strong, confident, ambitious young lady that is going to push for the stars and ensure that she puts her life in such a place that she can actually do better than I did in this life. And I'm working very hard to ensure that I can accomplish everything that I can as well. I'm working to the best of my ability, because not because you have a child and you're a single parent means that you can't work towards what you want as well. For me personally, I want to reopen my business. I want to get certain things in order, and I'm working towards these goals. There's also some courses that I want to do because I'm so obsessed with vehicle sales and sales management in general that I want to get certificates. I want to get my degree in business management. I want to get my degree in mechanical engineering, and I want to reach the point where, that I'm working for a company that's manufacturing vehicles. I want to design vehicles. I want to sell the vehicles. I want to be everything. I want to own my own company with motor vehicles because I'm obsessed with vehicles and vehicle sales and everything. So for me personally, I'm still pushing towards where I want to be in life as it relates career wise, while I'm still pushing to ensure that I provide everything for her and ensure that she understands life. A lot of single parents, something that I want to touch on as well. We often think as though because our child mother, or in female cases their child father, walked out on them, that we would want to keep them out of the child life. Like we won't want them to be there. Like we're basically trying to punish them. But honestly, I don't think that that's right, because you're not going to punish them, you're going to be punishing that child, if you understand where I'm coming from. Basically, I feel as though that every child needs both of their parents in their life, and it should be that child's decision if that child doesn't want that parent there. A parent might step out of that child's life for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. You would probably be struggling bringing that child up for that period of time, and you would feel as though that they don't deserve to see this child after you would have done so much for this child, and they were nowhere to be found, which is totally understandable. And for me personally, that's how I look at the situation. For me personally, I don't really want to involve my child into her mom's life if she ever puts herself back in the picture. But at the same time, I've come to understand from a mature level that every child needs both parents in their life, and it's that child's decision if that child doesn't want that parent there. So at a young age, the most I can tell you is that if you don't want them coming around the child, it's totally fine. But if they do call to speak to the child is at an age where the child can actually speak. If you should probably allow them to speak to the child or whatever it is. And that's about it. It doesn't even have to be every month, every day, every week. You can decide, but just ensure that they have that space where they're able to contact and speak to that child. Because when that child gets older, you wouldn't want that child to hate you for not allowing his or her mother or father to be in their life because of what they did. At the end of the day, children has a mind of every child have a mind of their own. Remember, every child grows to be an adult, and by the time that child turns the age of 17, 18, that child is going to start to ask questions. Even at the age of 14, I think that child might ask questions. Where's my mom? um what happened? Like, you're gonna be that's when you're gonna have to start answering questions, and you don't want to have to end up in a position where you're gonna have to say that, oh, she'd been trying for years to try to talk to you, but I just don't allow it. No, you don't want to end up in that position, because that child might hate you for that. So I really think that as a single parent, you need to consider that as well. Like, just don't make these decisions on your own. As a single parent, I really advise you to don't follow in those footsteps. Don't do those things to that child, because um you don't know exactly how that child is going to react when they find out that you would have done that to them when they're older. So try your very best to be neutral to the situation, no matter despite what it is with you and the other parent, and try to do your best. I'm not saying that you should go back with them, have conversations with them, ask them for anything if you're not asking. But once again, if they're trying to insert themselves into that child's life, you have the right to ask for assistance. You have that right, because if they're trying to insert themselves into that child's life, they need to actually step up. So if you need assistance financially to watch your child, whatever it is, you don't be afraid to ask either. You understand? So don't be a fool to be allowing that and you're not asking for assistance. Do not be a fool. For me personally, the mother is MIA. If she does make contact, she just contacts and disappear. She might check and then she gone. Like, I haven't heard from her in months. I haven't spoke to her in months. She haven't checked to see if the child's okay in months. So That's about it for her. So for me personally, I can't ask her for shit because she don't have shit. She don't have shit to give. You understand? And she don't work. She don't do anything. It's like there's nothing I can ask her for. And I know that if I had left my child, as in if I had tried to give her the child, because in most countries the mother needs to take up the responsibility of the child or whatever. Like, I know that my child couldn't have been better off. My child would have been suffering. When you find out that you're going to become a father or a mother, you never for sure know exactly what that child life is going to be like after that child is born. A lot of times, both party accepts that the child is going to be born and that they're going to be taking up responsibilities. But after that child is born, very often a lot of people step out. Most single parents did not become a single parent because they were told at the start that the other party is not going to be a part of the child life, or the other party doesn't want the child, or none of this. A lot of single parent stories that I've heard so far is that the child borns, and then when the responsibility starts to hit is when one parent want to pull themselves out. For anyone that is expecting a child and you're young, it's going to be your first child, my advice to you is be prepared for anything. Be prepared for the unexpected, because the mother can walk out. A lot of people don't believe that mothers can walk out on children, but I'm telling you though, I've lived and witnessed the mothers can walk out, the fathers can walk out. For example, me, my dad haven't been in my life from birth. I've basically built a relation with my father when I turned the age of 16. And this was not a choice that he made when he found out that my mom was pregnant with me. This is a choice that he made after I was born. This is a choice that they made after I was born, that he was not going to be there. He was not going to be a part of my life. So, one thing I can tell you guys is that if you're going to have a child, ensure that you're prepared to take up full responsibility for that child in the event of something going wrong with the other parent, or the other parent decides to walk out or whatever. So don't ever cater for just 50% of the duty and responsibilities of bringing a child into this life. You need to cater for a full 100% at all times. Because if you cater for 50% and that other person walks out, you are going to be the one that's going to leave that child to punish and suffer. So push your body, get things in order. Even if your life is not perfect and you're going to have a child, ensure that you plan it well. Plan your life well, plan your life properly. So that's all I have to share for today. But my channel is going to be basically videos about my journey as a young single father. I'm also going to make a lot of father and daughter videos, like day in the life with my daughter, baby Kai Kai. And you guys are going to see a lot about the struggles, and I'm going to tell you guys about challenges that I face. I'm going to give you guys advice that knowledge that I would have gained over being a young father for persons that are now about to go into the position. And I just hope that the knowledge that I share, that you can also share it with other people. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. Please don't forget to share this video to your friends that are young single parents or becoming young parents.